Hello, everyone. Now, why are we diving into the turbulent waters of anger today? Because whether we admit it or not, anger is an emotion we all grapple with. It's that uninvited guest that crashes the party of our minds, sometimes when we least expect it. I know many of you are nodding. Perhaps you've found yourself snapping at a loved one over something trivial or brooding over a colleague's offhand comment for days. Or maybe you've felt its grip, that intense surge when you're caught in traffic and the clock is ticking. It's these moments that make us question, why did I react that way? Or, could I have handled that better? By the end of our journey together, you won't just have these questions answered, but you'll also be equipped with tools and insights that can transform the way you perceive and react to situations that stir the embers of anger. Imagine a version of yourself that's more in control, more rational, and yes, even more peaceful in the face of adversity. We're going to venture through understanding the very core of anger, the domino effect it can have when unchecked, simple, yet effective tools to cool down, the immense power of communication, and the eye-opening benefits of shifting our perspective. So buckle up, it's going to be an enlightening ride. Whether you're looking to better yourself or simply understand the fiery emotion a bit better, there's something here for everyone. Let's embark on this voyage to mastering our emotions together. Alright, let's get a little personal for a moment. I must admit, I have a bit of a pet peeve. I genuinely struggle with individuals who are constantly angry. There, I said it. It's like being around a ticking time bomb. You're always on edge, unsure of when the next outburst might come. I sometimes find myself getting angry at the angry people. Isn't that ironic? It's like an emotional inception, anger within anger. But wait, let's dissect this for a moment. When I get angry at someone for being angry, what's truly happening? I'm essentially mirroring their behavior. I'm allowing their inability to manage their emotions to dictate my own. And let's be real, it's quite exhausting. And here's the bigger picture: when we don't control our anger, not only do we spread negativity, but we also create a ripple effect. People around us start feeling tense, on edge, and before we know it, everyone's emotions are spiraling out of control. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples keep expanding, affecting more and more of the water's surface. For all of you watching, I bet you've been on both sides of this scenario at some point. Being the angry individual and being on the receiving end of someone else's anger. And neither feels good, right? So the next time you feel that surge of anger, remember this: do you want to be the pebble causing ripples of negativity? Or would you rather be a calming presence, like a smooth stone that allows the water to flow around it undisturbed? If we all aim for the latter, we'd create a much more peaceful, understanding, and positive environment. And trust me, nobody, including me, will be getting angry at you for being too calm or too understanding. On the contrary, they might just thank you for it. First, I will talk about understanding the heat of anger. Have you ever felt your face getting hot, your heart rate increasing, or perhaps a tightness in your chest when someone or something upset you? That's anger. But why talk about it? Why not just let it out and move on? Anger, like any other emotion, is natural. However, the way we handle it can make a big difference in our relationships, our health, and our overall happiness. Think about a time when you were stuck in traffic, late for an important appointment. The frustration builds up, doesn't it? Yet, honking continuously or shouting won't clear the road. Recognizing our triggers and understanding why we get angry is the first step to mastering this powerful emotion. You might think, I rarely get angry, so why should I concern myself with understanding it? Even if anger isn't a dominant emotion for you, understanding its roots and triggers can help in situations when you do experience it. or when you're dealing with someone else's anger. It's about building emotional intelligence, which is beneficial in all interpersonal interactions. Next, I will talk about the domino effect of unmanaged anger. We all have those days when little things seem to set us off. But have you noticed how one angry moment can sometimes ruin your entire day? Unmanaged anger can lead to a cascade of negative feelings and action. It doesn't just affect us, but those around us too. Remember a day you started off by spilling coffee on your shirt. Instead of brushing it off, you let it sour your mood. That sour mood might have made you snap at a colleague, which then strained a working relationship. It's essential to address anger at its onset, to prevent it from snowballing into bigger issues. You might have experienced situations where expressing your anger seemed to resolve the issue quickly. So why hold back? While occasionally, a direct expression of anger might yield immediate results, the long-term effects can be detrimental. It might lead to a fear-based relationship or avoidance, neither of which is conducive to a healthy, understanding bond. It's about finding a balance between expression and management. So, I will talk about tools to cool down. Now, knowing that unchecked anger can lead to unwanted outcomes, how do we stop it in its tracks? Having tools and techniques to manage anger ensures we can handle tense situations rationally, keeping our relationships and peace of mind intact. Next time you're feeling overwhelmed, try taking a few deep breaths. It might sound overly simple, but pausing and breathing deeply can give you a moment to reflect and respond rather than react impulsively. Adopting techniques, whether it's deep breathing, counting to 10, or even taking a short walk, can help recalibrate your emotional state. You might think, I've tried these techniques, like deep breathing, and they don't work for me. That's valid. Everyone's different, and what works for one person might not work for another. The key is to find what resonates with you. If deep breathing isn't effective, other strategies, like journaling, talking to a friend, or even professional counseling, might be more suited to your needs. Communication is key. Let's face it, many times, our anger stems from misunderstandings or unmet expectations. So, how can we prevent these? Clear communication can be a preventative measure against anger. By expressing our feelings, needs, and expectations clearly, we reduce the chance of misunderstandings. Have you ever been upset because a friend was late to meet you? Instead of letting it fester, consider sharing calmly how you felt and discussing ways to ensure it doesn't happen again. Open dialogue, when done respectfully and calmly, can nip potential anger triggers in the bud. You might be wondering, what if I communicate, but the other person doesn't? It becomes one-sided then. Indeed, effective communication is a two-way street. While you can't control how others communicate by setting a standard of open and calm dialogue, you encourage others to do the same. And in cases where it remains one-sided, seeking mediation or counseling can provide tools for both parties to engage effectively. Our perspective is like the lens through which we see the world. The power of perspective is all about understanding that, by merely adjusting this lens or changing our viewpoint, we can transform the way we feel about situations, especially when it comes to anger. Have you ever found yourself stewing in irritation over something, only to realize later that it wasn't as personal or malicious as you initially thought? Changing our perspective or the way we interpret situations can dramatically reduce the instances where we feel angered. It's about giving the benefit of the doubt and understanding that things aren't always as they first appear. Suppose someone took your regular parking spot. Your initial reaction might be frustration, but instead of seeing it as a personal slight, consider that they might not be aware it's your regular spot, or perhaps they had an urgent matter to attend to. Adjusting our viewpoint doesn't mean ignoring our feelings. Instead, it offers a buffer, a moment of reflection. where we can choose a response rather than impulsively reacting with anger. Certainly, addressing potential reservations or negative opinions is a proactive way to engage viewers and provide clarity on misconceptions or concerns they might have. Here's how we can address those. You might feel, isn't changing perspective just a way to justify others' bad behavior? Changing perspective isn't about justifying or accepting poor behavior. It's about understanding situations more holistically to avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. Holding people accountable is essential, but ensuring we're reacting to the actual intent and not a perceived slight is equally crucial. Having reservations or questions about any advice is natural and encouraged. It's through understanding and addressing these concerns that we genuinely internalize and benefit from the knowledge. Always remember, the journey to mastering emotions is personal, and finding what truly works for you is paramount. We've embarked on quite the emotional voyage together, haven't we? Let's take a brief walk down memory lane and recapture the essence of our journey. First, we dive deep into understanding the heat of anger, recognizing that this fiery emotion isn't just about the outbursts, but the simmering embers beneath. Then, we explored the domino effect of unmanaged anger, witnessing how, like a chain reaction unchecked, rage can cause ripples in our lives and relationships. Our toolkit came next with tools to cool down, offering a myriad of strategies to diffuse that ticking anger bomb. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all. It's all about finding what resonates with you. We emphasized how communication is key, realizing that half our battles can be eased with the right words, tone, and timing. Finally, we illuminated the power of perspective, showing that sometimes all it takes is a slight shift in viewpoint to prevent anger's flames from blazing. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, this sounds great in theory, but can I truly master my anger? And to that, I say, absolutely. It might not happen overnight. There may be slip-ups and moments of doubt. But remember, every effort you make, every tool you try, and every perspective you shift takes you one step closer to becoming a master of your emotions. Imagine a world where you approach conflicts with calmness, understanding, and clarity. The peace and balance that comes with it are immeasurable. The relationships you nurture, the emotional energy you save, and the respect you earn make every effort worth it. So, as we wrap up our enlightening ride, remember this: it's a world of choices, moments, and emotions. And when it comes to mastering your anger, well, my dear viewer, the power is all in your hands. Embrace it, mold it, and make it work for you. Because in the end, it's all up to you, and I believe you've got what it takes.